Picture a man in a dimly lit studio, headphones on, eyes closed, as he pours his soul into the microphone. The beats pulse through the room, matching the rhythm of his heartbeat. As the world spills out, raw, unedited, and brutally honest, his music is more than just sound. It is an experience, a journey into the depths of his mind. The dark tones of his voice and the stark contrast to the light and shadow reflect the inner battles he fights every day. And yet, within the darkness, there is a flicker of light, a glimmer of hope that shines through his lyrics. In a small town nestled in the forests of Michigan, a boy was born with a heart of rhythm and a mind teeming with thoughts he couldn't quite shake, often overshadowed by the tumultuous atmosphere at home. Music became his refuge, the one place where he could channel his storm brewing inside. But life had a way of throwing curveballs, and this young boy would have to navigate the labyrinth of pain before he could find his true voice. The pivotal moment in his life came when he was just 18. After years of emotional turmoil, his mother lost her battle with addiction, leaving behind a void so deep it seemed impossible to fill. "I didn't know how to deal with it. I was angry, I was hurt, I was lost," he would later reflect in one of his rare interviews. This tragedy pushed him to the brink, but it also sparked something within him, a fierce determination to use his pain as a fuel for his art. It was during this time that he began to pour his heart into his music, turning his grief and anger into powerful lyrics that resonated with raw emotion. Despite the darkness surrounding him, he wasn't entirely alone. His father, though dealing with his own struggles, was a constant presence in his life, encouraging him to pursue his passion for music. A few close friends stood by him, offering support when the weight of the world seemed too heavy to bear. In the music industry, he found mentors who recognized his talent and helped him to navigate the complex and often ruthless world of rap. Yet, his greatest support came from an unexpected place: his fans. As he began releasing his music, he discovered a community of people who connected deeply with his lyrics. Their stories of how music helped them through their own struggles gave him strength to keep going. Music became his lifeline, a way to process emotions that threatened to consume him. His lyrics were raw, unfiltered, expressions of pain, anger, and hope. "I write what I feel. It's like therapy for me," he often said. But it wasn't just the act of writing that helped him cope. It was the connection he felt with his listeners. Knowing his music was making a difference to someone else's life gave him purpose. His music resonated with millions, climbing the charts and earning him a dedicated fan base. Albums like Mansion, Therapy, and Perception didn't just tell the story. They told stories of countless others who felt unheard and unseen. His music videos, often dark and visually striking, added another layer of depth, creating a powerful narrative that captured audiences. Despite his success, he remained grounded, always focusing on the message rather than the fame. He used his platform to talk openly about mental health, encouraging others to seek help and reminding them that they were not alone in their struggles. His rise to fame came when the conversation around mental health was becoming more prominent, especially among the younger generation. His willingness to tackle these difficult subjects head-on, depression, anxiety, loss, set him apart from many of his contemporaries in the rap industry. His music became an anthem for all those who felt marginalized, misunderstood, or lost, making him a voice for a generation grappling with the complexities of modern life. The man who turned his pain into powerful anthems, whose music has touched the lives of millions, is none other than Nathan John Frederstein, known to the world as NF. His journey from a small-town boy grappling with the loss and anger to a chart-topping artist with a message of hope and resilience is a testament to the power of art as a means of healing. In NF's story, we find the strength to face our own demons, to turn our pain into something beautiful. His music reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles, that there is always hope, even in the darkest of times. May his journey inspire you to find your own voice, express your truth, and never give up on the possibility of a brighter tomorrow. Did you know who that was all the way up until the end? All right. Welcome to the Mental Health Janitors, where we help you clean up the mess in your head. I'm Sergeant Q, and with me as always, Doc Jess.
Welcome. My turn.
It's early. And with me as always.
As you guys notice, we have a different attire in Aaron today.
Yes. Normally you guys see me, I'm always just black on black. That's just what I wear. Today is a travel day for me. I'm heading back to the blocks to shoot season 18 of that reality TV show. So I'm a coach and judge now. So that's where I'm heading. So I'm wearing something a little bit more comfortable for the plane. It gets a little chilly. So I got some long sleeves on. But yes, thanks for pointing that out, Jess.
You're welcome.
Do we want to do the cards?
Yeah, let's.
Oh, yeah. People love these cards.
Yeah, because I don't.
Right. It's extra early in the studio today.
Yeah, a little bit.
And so it's taken us a few takes to get going this morning.
And I flew in late last night.
Yeah, you flew in late, and I'm heading out in just about an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So, here we go.
So, all righty. Which was the better buy? The purchase of the state of Alaska or Central Park in New York City?
Oh, Alaska for sure. Oil reserves. Easy. More territory, oil reserves. Yeah, it gives us a front line against Russia. Yeah, absolutely. All kinds of reasons.
When these two pieces of land were purchased, they cost about the same amount of money. New York State purchased Central Park, 843 acres for $7.4 million. Alaska's 6,000 square miles only cost $7.2 million when purchased from Russia. In real estate, it's location, location, location.
I tell you what, I mean, I never said any people from New York were smart people, you know.
And they kind of, again, another weirdly worded question. It says, which was the better buy?
Yeah, it definitely would be Alaska. I mean, you get a lot more territory and it's rich with oil. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess Central Park is rich with drug addicts.
Don't do it. Oh. Is it now? Yeah, probably.
Every park in America is.
Yeah. Mm.
The fentanyl epidemic is just ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. My husband actually just lost another old time friend to a fentanyl overdose. It's just rampant.
It's just such a small amount can kill you. It's ridiculous. Law enforcement are being killed by it because they're doing searches and being exposed. Yeah. I watched a video where a female was searching a car and she had the other car door open and the wind blew across the seat and it blew some fentanyl in her face and they had a Narcan her right there.
Yep. Yeah.
It was wild. Wild. And speaking of addiction, the NF lost his mom to addiction. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure all of us know somebody who's been affected by addiction or they've lost a loved one to addiction. Mm-hmm. So it's something that a lot of us deal with, or you struggle with addiction yourself. So it can be a nasty, nasty animal to try and fight against for sure. Yeah. For sure. Do you listen to NF? When
I was a soccer coach, my girls used to love listening as they practiced and like pumped up for games and stuff like that. And then they all went to his concert when he was here. And so I've heard some of his music. Yeah.
I love it. And so how I think maybe I heard like one or two songs, or maybe I saw one video, something, just barely saw something. It's like, oh, this guy's okay. And I was in Trapper Sushi in Covington and I'm sitting there. Holly and I are sitting there and we're at the sushi bar and she's on my right. I'm sitting here and I'm looking straight at the door. And this girl comes and she sits, because it's crowded. It's the bar. She sits right here to the left of me. And she was talking about being home for a few weeks because her boyfriend was on tour and he had just signed with this label. He was just starting to get some traction.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm like, well, who's your boyfriend? She's like, NF. I'm like, NF. I'm like, I don't really know who that is. And she tells me a couple songs. I'm like, oh, I just heard him. I'm like, okay, that's who that is. So I met his girlfriend, now wife, for that briefest of moments. She is from Washington, the Northwest. And she was up here somewhere visiting family. And you know the relationship, they went through some tumultuous times where, struggling artist, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But they're married. They have kids now. I think she has her own Instagram called Brit Fit, where fitness thing. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of my claim to fame right there.
There you go.
That and Wes Bergman's my homie. So I'll see you in a few hours here, Wes.
You're name dropping today.
I am. Me and Wes are friends. We're friends. No, just kidding.
Nice. Well, yeah.
I was going to say, he does have a new show coming out Free plug for Wes. House of Villains. Did you watch reality TV at all?
No.
Okay, so I didn't either until I met Wes, and then I had to do some research on him. So in reality TV, you have these villains, people that are the bad guys in all the shows, right? They're the villains. And so they did a show called House of Villains where they put all the villains together and they get to villainize each other.
Oh, nice.
All together.
That sounds like it's going to be good.
Super cutthroat.
Oh,
you know, all these competitions and backbiting and just like jockeying for position.
Nice.
And, you know, talking to this person to get this person out, and I'll be your friend and you help me out and we'll get this person out. But really, I'm just cutting the rug out from under you.
What does that mean when you get approached to be a part of this?
I don't know.
Oh, so, man.
So season 1 happened, and then Wes got invited to be part of season 2 of House of Villains. So the last time I was there in January, we just finished wrapping the show, and he was getting on a plane that night after the wrap party to go film House of Villains.
Nice.
And I'm telling you right now, one thing Wes and I have in common is we're brilliant tacticians. This guy was letting me know what his plan was, and I'm not going to ruin it, but this guy has an amazing plan. If you watch House of Villains, which I will watch because Wes is on it, and I know what his plan is, it's going to be epic.
Did he win?
I can't tell you that. Oh. I mean, I know, but I can't tell you.
Cool. I want to watch it now. That was a really good commercial for that.
Yes. House of Villains. I'm not a reality TV guy, but Wes is my friend. And now I'm going to be watching it, and specifically because I know what his tactics are.
Mm. Yeah, I would have been voted off right away. I hate drama.
That's the whole show. It's drama.
The whole show.
Oh my gosh. So I watched a couple episodes just to see what it was of season 1. And one of them was these golf carts. So they had to drive these golf carts through this like obstacle course, but they matched 2 people together. And one person was driving blindfolded, and the other person had to give them directions.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Casey, we got to do this for a men's advance. I'm not joking. It was so much fun to watch this.
I bet.
It was hilarious. One blindfolded and one driving the cart. It was great.
I've seen people do that, for like trust team building stuff of telling you where to go walking, but not driving a golf cart.
We could do that with wheelchairs, Casey.
Oh, I'm on it already.
He's writing it down.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And we could literally do that with wheelchairs where the person pushing is blindfolded and the person giving directions. And I mean, they got to give good directions because they're going to be hitting first.
Yeah. That's good.
And it's a race. And it's a race. So you're racing against other people or racing against the clock. Yes.
That's a good idea.
And then, you know what else we could do? We could have people on the sides shooting them with Nerf guns. I was going to say paintballs, but that might be too painful. So Nerf guns.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, we could get the whistling ones,
Oh my gosh. Where's your wife to get us back on track? When I was just down at the Building Christian Fellowship, and Pastor Kaya Butcher is Pastor John Butcher's facilitator. What'd she say? She called it something, but like people are like, Pastor Kaya, come get your husband. You got to get him back on track. I'm like, sounds like Holly.
I have so many great ideas.
Yeah. We know. Hey, what's our advancement for today that we're going to talk about?
Journaling, really. So
makes sense.
That when you think about NF and his story, he was writing music, but before that, he was journaling. He was getting all of this emotion out, and he talks about being in the studio and writing and getting all of this emotion out. And I did the very same thing. When I was really struggling with mental health, I would just write it out. I'd be in the middle of an anxiety attack or where I just felt off the PTSD feeling where you just don't feel like you're quite in reality.
Yeah.
And I would just write and write. And I thought that I was crazy. Like I felt like as I'm writing this, I'm like, I'm crazy. And one day somebody's going to find these books and it's going to be like Fight Club. Or it's like, I am Joe's bleeding spleen.
Oh my gosh.
You remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
So I'm like, somebody's going to find these books one day and be like, oh yeah, this is Aaron as he was going crazy in the loony bin. Right. So that's what I thought. But then when I would actually go back and read through it, it was coherent and it did make sense. And it really helped me reflect back on those moments and pick out little nuggets that were helpful.
Yeah.
And then that became my book. So all of my journaling became the book that I wrote. And I even put some in the book. I put some of the really raw stuff in there that is totally unedited. And it's just how I wrote it, put it right into the book, just so people can see because I talk about where I was in that moment in time. And then you can actually read the words that I wrote during that time.
Yeah, that's interesting. And if you do any research on a lot of authors, a lot of authors who do like a memoir or books about anything that they process through. It's a journaling process. And a lot of them say they get a lot of freedom and a lot of healing through journaling. And I mean, that's ultimately kind of what I'm doing right now, writing my book, is just journaling through my memoirs and just adding messages to it, like of what I've learned over the years with what I've been through and what it looks like for people in combat. And yeah, it's definitely hard, but definitely healing for sure.
It's very therapeutic. And there's a difference between typing and physically writing. A different part of your motor cortex in your brain is engaged when you're writing. And the visualization happens a lot easier that way. When you're typing, it's more manual and that visual part isn't engaged the same way with the physical part like it is with writing. I'm not sure if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's interesting.
When you're physically writing it out, different areas of the brain are engaged, which help you process that moment better than if you were to just speak it out or if you were to type it out. So I always tell people, if you're going to journal. That's why it's not efficient to write in a notebook and then try and transfer that to digital so I can save it, because I have tons of notebooks. So I used to type it, but I wasn't getting the same engagement like I did before. Then I found the Remarkable.
Yeah.
And that was a game changer because it feels like pen and paper. It's incredible. And it's saved digitally. It's the best. Did you ever find your pen?
No.
Jess has lost like 2 pens. I know. 2 pens. They're probably in your couch cushions. Where do you write most often?
At the dinner table.
Oh, at the dinner table.
Or outside of yeah, they're somewhere. That's why I refuse to buy another one. As soon as I buy another one, I'm going to find it. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What's your scripture for?
Yes. So I liked this one. So James, and it doesn't quite fit, but just follow me on this rabbit trail. All right. James 1:23 and 24. It says, "Do not be hearers of the word only and not doers. Do not be like the man who looks in the mirror, and when he turns away, he's forgetting his own face." Now, what they're talking about is hearing the scripture and not living it out. That's what they're talking about. And I'm not comparing that, but what I'm saying is, how do you not become that man who looks in the mirror and then when he turns away, forgets his own face? How do you hear the word and then not do it? Journaling. For me, it was journaling. It was tracking my progress, doing my journaling. When I would read the word and I would hear a sermon, I journal.
Yeah.
You'll see me in church. I've always got my Remarkable and I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes because I reflect back on that in the days and weeks to come. Yeah. Or when and there's little keywords I put at the top. So if I'm looking for something like patience, I'll flip through and be like, patience. Okay, this sermon had patience. This one had patience. And then I pull those together and I can see what I got out of that sermon. And then I can use it to build on something else that I'm trying to create. And so that's how I've really focused my time in the word, and how I don't just become a hearer of the word only, but a doer also, is because I journal and then I can track it.
Yeah, that's good. I came up with Psalm 139:23, where it says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts." It continues on with 24 that says, "Point out anything in me that offends you and lead me along the path of everlasting life." And it's different as you're asking God to search, like as I go through this process in my journaling. This is one scripture I journal about a lot. Lord, search me, search my heart, reveal anything that I don't see, right? Because we are blind to our own shortcomings, but it's also 9 times out of 10 is kind of the door opening to journaling more of like, oh, you see this in me, Lord, let's unpack that and maybe help find out where it comes from. Or it's been a good scripture for me to just kind of kick that door open.
I'm just taking notes on what you're saying.
Oh, nice. He's journaling.
I'm like, oh, that's good. I'm journaling right now.
And, our new advancement really is journaling. And that's going to be our tool today as well. Talking about, I'm actually going to share some statistics with you guys of what research has shown. Journaling, it's been widely studied and shown to have significant benefits for mental health. And so some of the key statistics and findings from journaling, one is a study published in Advances in Psychiatric Treatment, and it improves well-being overall. Journaling, it can lead to significant improvements in this study's particularly was 15 to 20 minutes a day over a period of 3 to 5 days. And it reported a reduction in stress, anxiety, and depressive symptoms, which goes hand in hand with NF.
Yeah, because you've got all of that thoughts, feelings, and emotions trapped inside you. And when you write it out, you're releasing it out.
Yeah. And that's why, therapy is so healing as well, because there's sometimes where people just talk the whole 53 minutes and gosh, how do I feel better? Because you're processing, and it's important for healing. Also, a study in the Journal of Affective Disorders indicated that people who engage in expressive writing show reduction in depressive symptoms. One study actually found journaling for just 20 minutes over 3 days led to significant decrease in depressive symptoms, and that decrease in those depressive symptoms lasted up to 4 weeks afterwards.
I have a question, Jess.
Yes.
What can you define expressive writing? What is that exactly?
Yeah, expressive writing is a therapeutic term pretty much for journaling, but it's just more intentional and specific on how to journal. So expressing your thoughts, feelings, emotions, like intentionally around maybe a traumatic event or something that you're processing through, a broken relationship or something that happened to you in your past. And this would be one of the definitions for cognitive processing therapy. Mm-hmm. And that's what I went through at the Road Home program in Chicago. And that was part of our healing process with cognitive processing therapy, was expressive writing intentionally to unpack what our index trauma was, which we can talk about later, but that's that first chapter of my book. And that's how I'm able to express so many details in that memory, was because I did expressive writing, peeling back the onion layers of my memory of what it looked like that day, alongside with a trained professional who helps ask the right questions to help you become even more expressive with your writing in your memories of the situation and stuff. So
it's a more directed type of journaling.
Yeah.
Instead of just journaling about your day, you're actually picking one specific event and just writing about that.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Fantastic.
Also, it enhances your emotional processing. So according to a published psychosomatic medicine, can help people process and manage emotions more effectively. Participants who wrote about stressful, traumatic experiences had lower levels of psychological distress and physical illness as compared to those who did not journal, which leads us into the next study and statistic, is that it actually boosts immune function to journal. And
do you know why? Why it makes you physically healthier and boosts your immunity?
No, please tell me.
Do you really know? And you're just placating me.
Well, it's our immune system is better when we're better mentally.
Yeah, but so on a physical level, stress, specifically cortisol and adrenaline, it destroys your body on a cellular level. So in small doses, it's fine, like cancer treatment, it's fine. But in large doses over long periods of time, it's like irradiating your body.
Yeah.
And it destroys your immune system. It destroys your cells. You age faster. Your body deteriorates quicker when you're under a tremendous amount of stress. That's why when you look at photos, so there's this I don't know what it was, art project that a journalist did, where she took photos of people, of young men going into combat, and then when they left combat. This was less than a year apart, but they looked like they had aged 10 years.
Wow, that would be interesting.
You can find this out there, and maybe if Casey can find it, he can put a link in the description. It's fascinating to see how much these people aged in just a short amount of time because of the tremendous stress that they were under.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I have no more hair.
Yeah. And that's also why people with high, more complex PTSD have lower immune systems. And they actually mirrors autoimmune disorders, diseases and a lot of soldiers, or anybody with, not just soldiers with PTSD, have been diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, right? Because your gut is your second brain, and your gut is the source of life and helps with your immune system. So I absolutely can believe that statistics would show that journaling could help boost our immune system. Yeah,
absolutely.
There's also another research published, the Journal of Consulting and Clinical Psychology, for improved physical health. So showed the individuals who journaled about their thoughts, feelings, experienced fewer symptoms of chronic illness like asthma, rheumatoid arthritis, and those versus those who didn't journal. It enhances resilience, which we're always advocating here at the Mental Health Janitors. Study in the Journal for Traumatology found that journaling can help build resilience by allowing individuals to reframe, like I did, and make sense of stressful or traumatic experiences. Cognitive processing can lead to a stronger sense of personal growth and recovery, right? And this was what was so interesting about my cognitive processing was I had an all or nothing thought of women should not be at war, on the front lines of war. And I had some really good reasons why I believed that, because I thought that the soldier died because I was a woman on the front lines. And in this cognitive processing, in this journaling, this counselor helped me peel back other viewpoints, because I was just tunnel visioning it, right?
Oh, like the beach ball analogy
you
used before.
Yes. I assumed he was covering me because I was a woman. And so therefore I made the assumption overall that women shouldn't be on the front lines of war. And we can have that discussion another day, because I just still believe that. But in this particular situation, she helped me uncover that they, on the front lines, infantrymen cover the medic all the time, because the medic has to be alive to save other people. And I happen to be a medic as well. And so there's a higher probability that he was actually ordered to come cover me because I was the medic at the checkpoint as well. And man, the aha moment of coming to that realization that, oh, maybe it wasn't because I was a woman. Maybe it was because I was a medic, and that's what they do. And man, the burden that was lifted off of me of almost 10 years living with this survivor's guilt, thinking this guy died because I was a female on the front lines of war. This soul hero died a heroic death doing his job and protecting the medic. So the medic can then go out and save the rest of the platoon, right? And so that's one example of how this expressive journaling can really help in cognitive processing therapy. And then CBT.
Your book is going to be riveting.
Oh.
Yes. So if you guys put your name in the comments if you want to pre-order this thing. I know Jess is building out a website right now where you guys can get on a list to pre-order this book. It's going to be amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I might read a little bit more of it at our live.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah. I just processed through a pretty good story. And so, I think it might be a good opportunity for me to connect with some of our biggest supporters and allow them to be a part of what that looks like, feels like. Remember, because in here we got hot and being able to I think it could be therapeutic and healing for me to allow our close friends, family, supporters to just be a part of maybe a moment like that with me. I think it would be good for everybody. So
you know it's going to be difficult for people, and they're not going to realize this. Like, oh yeah, it'll be hard. But when you're in the room, the emotion is palpable.
Yeah.
Like it fills the room. And I don't know if they quite understand that yet, but they will.
Okay.
They will.
Yeah. And so CBT, cognitive behavior therapy support journaling, is often used as a tool in CBT to help us individuals track our identity patterns. And so we've talked about that triangle, the event or situation triggers automatic thought, that automatic thought triggers an emotion or a feeling. And then that emotion or feeling then goes over and triggers our behavior, action, or inaction. And we have a physiological response in our body, like it's actually happening. And journaling, processing through, being able to look back and be like, okay, I had a panic attack. That was the behavior, action, or inaction. I'm going to go backwards and see, okay, what was I feeling when that happened? Go back. What was the automatic thought that triggered that feeling? Right. And this was a lot of my process as well, with my husband helping me, because I would be really, really triggered for 3 or 4 days and be like, what was it that triggered me? And we were able to track it backwards and say, oh, we were driving and this happened, or, oh, we went to the movie Finding Nemo and the theater next to us was some war movie. And I didn't cognitively recognize that was the trigger. But for days afterwards, I would be really triggered. And so that was part of my healing as well, as tracking that.
You know, it's funny. I learned how to do this before I was taught in therapy.
Yeah.
Like through reading and research. In my book, I call it a function check, where we function check our brain. And I figured this out. And then years later, I found out this was an actual therapy. I was like, oh, hey,
yeah,
I've been doing this. This is why it works.
Yeah. Well, also because the Bible teaches us how to do it. You know, captivate our thoughts unto the Lord. Think of things that are worthy and honorable and trustworthy and true and things like that. And so because he created us in his image, he put that innate nature in us, right? Our bodies heal itself. So why can't our minds heal itself with that instinctual process? Yeah. From the Holy Spirit. That's amazing. Well, you guys, like always, please subscribe to our channel. Please like these videos if you like them, and please share them with your friends and family.
You know, I have one last thing. I was thinking about this just a few minutes ago when you were talking. I do a lot of business coaching and I help people start businesses, and I work with CEOs, and they always want me to come in and like fix the problem that's in their business. And I can never do that. I can't. But what I can do is fix the problem that they're having. And the first thing I have them start doing is a morning routine and journaling. It's the very first thing that I do with anybody. I was doing a consultation this Saturday with somebody who's really been struggling in business, and they're really struggling with low self-esteem and like they don't belong in the room. And so then they just let people take advantage of them. And I even started her right there with, what is your morning routine? Let's build one right now, because I can't fix the problems in your business, but I can fix the problems. I can help you fix the problems that you're having. And then you can take that and translate it to the rest of your company. But that's where I always start, is right there, teaching CEOs and entrepreneurs how to have a morning routine and journal, because it's so important first thing in the morning to be able to do that. It helps you manage everything else throughout the day.
Yeah, it's been a game changer for me to have my morning routine, but I don't have that in my morning routine journaling. So maybe I'll add that in there.
Really? Oh, wow. Yes. Every morning I do my journaling, I do my Bible study and journaling. It has been a game changer. And that's where I start every CEO that comes to me for coaching, is right there with the morning routine, and journaling is always a part of it. So Jess, you just did a parenting class actually down in California. How did that go?
Yeah, Billy and I went down and we did a micro dose of parenting and communication. So it was incredible. I mean, everybody was engaged and learning, and the feedback we got, my husband did a great job. It's really cool because we bring such a diverse blend, right? Because I was a single mom. I've had to co-parent with my oldest daughter's father and their family, and now we're a nuclear family, married to Billy, and we have a family now. So, and he's had to walk through what it looks like to be a stepdad, even though we hate the word stepdad because we don't even call. Anyways, that's a different podcast, but it was really good because, these days, that's just the reality is there's so many broken homes. Mm-hmm. And one thing that Pastor John butchered in his, his sermon on Sunday following this up was how Jesus is in dysfunction. I mean, Jesus was raised by a stepfather. Mm-hmm. From the beginning, Adam and Eve were dysfunctional. Look at their kids, murderers, and but God is in the dysfunction with us, helping us through it. And so it was just a really, really great feedback and a great class. And it was an honor to be able to share what I've learned and what I've studied over the years with people who are interested in becoming better themselves.
And so if you guys who watch the Mental Health Janitors, you get value here, you can connect with us in other ways. So Jess, she does some life coaching. She does some therapy. She also does this parenting class. So you can connect with us on the mentalhealthjanitors.com. You can connect with her. She can get you connected to these classes and get you into the next one. I do a lot of business coaching and helping entrepreneurs just like you reduce turnover rate inside their company by investing in the mental health of their employees. I've done it in my own company. Yep. I reduced mine by 4 times less than the national average. Mm-hmm. And now corporate America is asking me to help them, and I can help you guys as well. So if you want to connect with us that way, mentalhealthjanitors.com. Each of us have a way to connect there. And so what we love to do is we love to educate, empower, and encourage you on your mental health journey. So for the Mental Health Janitors, I'm Sergeant Q.
And I'm Doc Jess.
And we're out.